Good morning and welcome back. Thank you for joining us once again. It is Expo Day. So of course, with another set of Disney races comes another Expo Day. Now you have to go down to the expedition to pick up your bib. You don't have to go to the merch part, but you have to pick up your bib the day before your race. Now obviously if you're only doing the marathon or an individual race, you can get down the day before. The only people that need to be there today are the people running the 5k tomorrow and those that are doing the Dopey challenge. There's a lot of people doing it now. There is a virtual queue that was done this morning. They basically only want to let so many people into the merch hall at one time. They are meant to be restricting how many items of merchandise you can buy this year. There's been problems in the past where people have gone in, not necessarily even Dopey runners, and just scalped the lot and put it on eBay for 2-3 times the price. I mean, it's not unique to Run Disney, obviously. Pokemon is another good thing that I like that's been scalped to death, but Disney are trying to combat that. So they are saying that today, only if you are a Dopey runner can you buy Dopey merchandise. And of course, this virtual queue will hopefully thin out how many people can go through at one time as well. Now, it was 8:30 that you can join the virtual queue at. I'll show you, I've got a clip of my phone when I was doing this. It literally just turned 8:30. I asked to join the virtual queue and I was already in group 60. That was seconds into me refreshing that page, by the way. I mean, I've heard of fastest finger first, but I don't get how quick these people do it. I really don't. Bots, maybe? Anyway, I can't change it. I am number 60 in the queue. I'm not even in, 60 in the queue. I'll be hundreds into the queue because there's dozens of people per group that can go in, so I'll be right at the back. Hopefully there's some decent merchandise still left. I have my refillable bug, so I'm going to fill that up now. Once I've got that, I'm just going to drive on down to the Expo. It's only about 5-10 minutes drive, probably not even 10. Just depends on the traffic trying to get into the car park. Doesn't actually open till 10 o'clock, so I've got about an hour at the moment. So just take a slow mosey on down. I know the way, been there before, obviously, as you all know. So stick around, come and join me down at the Expo. Let's see how much we can spend this year. Let's see what great merchandise they've got on offer. Let's go. So if you stay on site at Disney, they do offer free transportation to the Expo. Now the buses start about half an hour before the Expo opens, so about 9:30 will be the first one off, which is in about 20 minutes time. Me personally, I'm going to take the car. It's just so close. You never know as well how busy it's going to be. I'm looking down at the bus lane where obviously they send the buses from. And I can tell you now there's already a big queue for that first bus that's going to turn up, so I doubt very much I'd be on the first one anyway. Now if you do stay on site at Disney, all the hotels will give you information about how and where you can get transportation to and from both the races and the Expo itself. As you can see, I've taken a small shot of what they're offering here at Pop. The buses again generally start from around about half an hour from when the corrals actually open. It's a very early start on Sunday. Now you don't have to be on the first bus, you have to be there by the time the corrals close, generally about half an hour before the actual race starts. My only caveat to that, I would say, is that just remember on race day the buses they use aren't necessarily the Disney World buses and drivers, simply because they need their buses to get the regular guests around. I mean, it's Disney, there are still families here just holidaying with no idea what the hell we're all doing getting up at 1:30 in the morning. So what they actually do is they bring in a lot of local firms. They literally hire them in for the weekend and get them to go point to point, just running people about. Now that's great if you've got a driver who knows where he's going. However, back in 2022 I did have a driver on the way back from one of the races who got completely lost, and what should have been about a 7-8 minute journey turned out to be a 35-minute journey at one point back on the I-4. So it isn't good. It doesn't help as well that obviously Disney have to close the roads, so these local drivers that think they can get round Disney all of a sudden face road closures and they don't know where to turn. So I would always recommend, if you can be up for the first bus, get on that first bus. Not only that, when you actually get down there, although the corrals may not be open, there are characters that you can still photograph with. There's the experience, there's loads of people there just waiting to talk about their running journey. Some are doing it for the first time, some are doing it for their 25th time, and everything in between. So it's a great experience to come and get involved in. So if you can get up early, well, you've got no choice, you're getting up early, there's no two ways about that. But the earlier you can get up, the better it'll be for you when you get down there on race day. Right, time to start heading to the Expo. Come on, let's go. Let's go spend loads and loads of money that I don't have. So that was a really quick journey actually. That was about 5 minutes. The queue of traffic, not too bad at the moment. I think the fact that it doesn't open still for another half an hour probably means that it's going to start backing up soon, but not yet. So what kind of things are we looking out for in the merch? Well, I always like to pick up the pins. So they have medal replica pins, obviously tiny little things. But I always like to get those, so 6 pins definitely. The races are now sponsored by Brooks, so the shirts that we'll get are Brooks apparel. They also do some special Brooks trainers. Now I do actually have a pair already, thanks to some of my American friends getting me a pair of Disneyland ones. That was brilliant and they're really comfy, so I'm looking out for a couple of pairs of those. Obviously I'm gonna get an I did it shirt. Not gonna wear it until I have actually completed it. Sometimes you feel like you might be cursing your luck if you do buy it early, but if you don't, it's gone anyway, so you've got to get in there. But I refuse to wear it until I've actually done it, and if I don't do it, you can actually return them and get a refund because they're Disney merch, so you can do that. But I'm hoping I'll be doing it. Some other bits and pieces that I'd like to look out for, they do like a little model shoe of the race weekend. Quite like that. They normally do a nice jacket. I've got a jacket from 2024. I've also got a Dopey rain jacket from 24 actually, that was nice. Again, a couple of t-shirts to commemorate race weekend. I'll certainly be looking out for that. So yeah, we're going to do some serious shopping here. The irony of all of this, by the way, is that just before I left the hotel, I had an email from my roster clerk asking me if I fancied a rest day work once I actually returned back to the UK. So I'm thinking, I haven't answered yet, but I'm thinking that's like a £150 free pass, right? Just to go crazy. No? Yes? Maybe? Well, let's go and see what we can find anyway in the It's so busy.
Specifically formulated. That's where you can find me.
So the queue to meet Dopey and Pluto, but mainly Dopey, was huge, like proper long. But I spoke to one of the cast members now. He's here all day apparently, right up until about 7 o'clock tonight. So the plan is, I've got my bibs, or my bib numbers. I've got to go and actually get my running bibs that you get as part of each race that you've entered. So I've got 6 jerseys coming my way. You've got to go and collect them from a different area. Then hopefully I will be called for merch. And then finally, I'm going to go, so I'm coming up with a plan. Obviously the plan has changed somewhat. I did say I was going to go and wait for the merch first, but I'm glad I didn't, because I'm nearly half an hour in and I still haven't been called. But I have managed to get my bibs. And I've made it into Corral B. I'm happy with that. Obviously in 2022 and 24 I made A. So I'm guessing I'm getting a little slower, but quick enough to still be out there the front. I'm happy with that. So I've got these now, collected those. One is for the 5 and the 10k, one is for the half and the full. Once you pick those up, they escort you to another part of the ESPN Wide World of Sports site, where you can then go and pick up your jerseys. But there's a big queue.
I'm outside it, so I work under
But I still haven't yet been called for the merch part, so I'm going to queue for this. Hopefully by the time I've got my jerseys, I'll only be called for merch, and away I go. That's the plan. Already advertising for next year, which we won't be back for. You can apply in March for that, so you've got to be 9 months out in advance and know that you want to do it and be ready for it. So we are in the generic merch area. You can see some General Run Disney stuff as well. Here we go. It also has all of your medals. Didn't realise I was cutting into somebody's photo there. My bad. You just cannot see where queues start and queues finish. They have on a couple of corners in this hall, they have got some maps of the races that you're going to be doing. Includes the medal as well.
That's the one.
At some point I will try and get a better shot of those and insert them either in this video or on the race themselves. But to say it's crowded is an understatement. Keep in mind it is now just gone 11:30 and I still have not yet been called to go for the Disney merch side of things either, and that is still estimated at over an hour for me to wait. I've got my bibs, I've got my shirts, and I have some photos now as well. So I'm going to take a walk around the generic merch area. I don't normally do this, but got nothing else to do other than wait. So let's go and have a look. I like the wooden maps, very nice. Going from $100. Nice, but not that nice.
Free sample! You don't like it, bring your receipt, we'll give you your money back. Free sample!
I mean, I know they say nothing new on race day, but if somehow you ended up here with none of your running equipment, maybe your luggage got lost in transit, maybe you've just forgotten something, I can tell you they have everything here. Yep. Let's not forget all these hours that you spend on your feet, walking, just standing, just hours in queues. A lot of these people, myself included, still have to do 48.5 miles. It's not easy. You could do with less time on your feet the day before this whole thing starts. However, it is what it is, and you know it when you get into it. So, only one person to blame. This guy.
Okay, just so you know, they all come complete.
Running the Dopey will get you all 6 medals. but only if you finish the marathon. On all the other races, you can get swept. The 5K, I don't think you can, they don't even time it. But everything else you can be swept on. They do have sweeper buses now. If you end up on a sweeper bus, they will transport you to the finishing line and they will give you a finisher medal for that particular race. But if you're part of one of the challenges and they sweep you, you will only get the medal for that race. You will not get it for the challenge. So it's well worth knowing you've got to finish that marathon if you want all 6 medals. So, bibs collected, race shirts collected, the merchants area visited, been round, looked at, still waiting to be called for the Disney merch. And I've just seen on Facebook a post about how it's queuing inside even after you get called. It's really not looking good. It's been a terrible, terrible effort by Disney. Just gonna have to see what merch they've got left, I guess. So we are at 5-1 now. I've still been waiting. I finished everything I needed to do about an hour ago, maybe a little bit more. Literally just been sat on the ground waiting, and I'm still waiting to be called. It's estimated another 20 minutes yet. All I see is loads of merch bags everywhere, so I have no idea whether or not there's anything actually left in my size. It looks like everybody's raided everything. I've waited this long, might as well wait the last 20 minutes. I know some people who have come and gone through both parts, so whether or not they were just quick and lucky, I don't know, but it's been a very, very frustrating morning to say the least. I've heard that once I do actually get to go into the building, there's another queue anyway waiting ahead of me before I even get to the t-shirts. So I don't even know what time I'm going to be done here. We'll keep you posted. We'll have a look around when we do get in there though. Hopefully there's still something nice to purchase. Still hopefully a few pins to be able to get hold of. Let's see what awaits us. I'm in. I'm called. Let's go. Trainers, everybody's come to see. Where is that? Now I'm riding Brooks Ghost, and the Mickey Mouse ones are Brooks Ghost. God, I hope they've got some left. The queue within a queue to go and buy more merch to then queue, pay and go. I'm so tired. However, before I join this queue, you actually get to the Brooks try the shoe on area. So they have generic shoes, not with the actual Disney design on them, but the same shoes. So for example, the Ghost style that I like, you can try a generic Ghost style on, they fit you the right size. Then they give you this slip of paper. That's the shoe, what size, what fit you want. And apparently when you get in, you literally just hand it to one of their members and they're just going to hand you the box. So fingers crossed that will work. Now at the moment I've circled 2 pairs. The Mickey ones, which are the Ghost 17s, well I run in Ghost, so I know I like them. And the wide. Really well, I really like those. I also like the Run Disney generic ones. Now they are Adrenaline GTS 25. Never wore Adrenalines before. Now they only come in regular, and I was unsure at first about trying on a regular. Fit like a glove. So I think I'm going to go for 2 pairs. just a small matter of around about $340 for those 2 pairs, plus tax. It's not going to end well, this is it. Right, we are in. Shall we see what merch we've got left? First thing I'm going to do is go over to the Dopey merch, because let's be honest, that's where most of the stuff's probably gone. So I had to do a virtual queue, which wouldn't let me in until gone 1. I then got inside the building where I had to queue again just to get into the merch hall. Once in the merch hall, I've now got to queue again just for Dopey merchandise. This is, without doubt, the worst Dopey weekend I've ever done. This is my 3rd one. I've not seen it like this before. I am finally free. Just over 6 hours I've spent here today, and I can't begin to describe how many hours of that have been on my feet just in queues. I mean, it has been ludicrous today. Normally I go around the Expo and show you all the merch and talk about it and show you the prices, and it wasn't worth it. I've inserted the merch bits I did videotape. There was obviously finisher shirts for all distances, same with pins and things like that. There was some generic Race Disney t-shirts and bits and pieces, but in all honesty, it was an absolute just disaster. In all honesty, that's all it was. But I'm out of there now. I have bought some bits and pieces. I'll try and remember to make sure that I insert exactly what I've bought at the end of this. That is the Disney Expo, and that was the worst one I've ever had out of the 3 in total. And that is definitely the last Disney Expo done. Thank you ever so much for joining me again today, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed seeing the Expo. Sorry there wasn't quite as much footage as usual, but it was just such a long day. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Give a little bell notification as well, so you know when the next video is coming along, because now all that's left to do is a small matter of 4 races: the 5, the 10, the half, the full, the Dopey. It's going to be a tough one. Until then though, guys, take care, see you soon.